Hebrew verbs, tenses. Okay. Now, you remember we've talked about prior to this many times back in Greek. Your verbs are the actions of your sentence. Someone's calling. Hold on a second. Nope, they hang on. If it's the action of a sentence, then it's what someone is doing or what's being done to them. It can be both active, you're doing it, or passive, it's being done to you. But mindless, the verb is always going to be the action of the sentence. In Hebrew, that verb is largely defined, even in its meaning, by what's called a stem. What are stems? There's 7 main stems. And the stem is going to give you the how that verb is taking place. Not the when. The when is going to be different. We're going to get to the when momentarily. We might get to it today. But this is how the verb is taking place. What do I mean? Well, amongst your stems, you have what's called the kal stem. The kal, which can either be a K or a Q, either one pronunciation is the same as kal, is just simple. Okay, it's just telling you this verb is happening. It's not giving you really any more detail. It's a simple statement. The verb is taking place. This is the most common of the stems within Hebrew. Stem just means how it's happening, how it's taking place. So 80% of the time, it's just a simple action. We're going to use as our example a simple statement. He shot. Shot what? Well, he shot a gun. We'll use a gun because why not? So Justin Alfred gave us an example. It's a little bit violent, but it's okay. We'll run with it. So the kal example in a Hebrew verb, okay, if the verb is to shoot, so you're shooting a gun, right? To shoot a gun. If that is your verb, then in the kal, it's just simply he shot a gun. Now, no details to it, no additional information. It means you're doing the action, you shot it, period. What if it's nifal? Nifal means he was shot. You're receiving the action. This is how the verb is working, right? Kal, simple action, active, you're doing it. Your nifal, simple action, you're receiving it. He was shot. It can also at times be reflective, he shot himself. So you are the one being shot, or if it's reflexive, you are shooting yourself. Both can fit within the context of the nifal form stem of the verb. PL, stop. This is where Hebrew grammar is going to have information that is not possible to translate into English. Can we translate a simple action? Yes. I shot a gun. Can we translate a simple reflexive or passive action? Yes. I was shot or I shot myself. That's doable in English. That can come across. The PL, there's no way to translate. What is the PL? Intensive active. I didn't shoot. I unloaded an entire clip. I shot an entire clip. I was, holding down the trigger on full auto. That's PL. See the difference? If I shoot a gun, click, the gun gets shot. PL. I had a fully automatic A4 assault rifle with a full clip inside, and I held down the trigger and unloaded the entire thing. That's the PL. Intensive action, not just shooting, really shooting. No way to really do that in English. There's no way to translate that. 9 times out of 10, if there's a PL verb, it just goes unnoticed in the Hebrew, and it's important. Because it's not something's being done, it's really being done. It's intensively being done. And that's important because it might be, and the Lord, brought hail down upon the enemies of Judah. Okay. Brought hail down. PL. Whoa. He wasn't dropping 1 or 2. We're talking, it's a regular downpour of hail coming down upon him. Sober again. Lots and lots and lots of hail. Why? Because it's a PL. God's not doing something small. He's doing it full force. PL. Intensively. And that's that PL stem. Important. Still active. The subject of the sentence is doing the action, but it's intensively. Same in the pu'al. What is the pu'al? You're intensively receiving the action. I was really shot. I wasn't shot with a single bullet. Someone unloaded an entire clip from a gun into me. That's not good. That's not healthy. You probably can see Jesus. But you get a clip of a gun unloaded into you. That's pu'al. intensively receiving an action. And then you have the hifil. Your hifil is causative action, meaning somebody's causing you to do something. You were caused to be shot. You were caused to shoot, I should better say, because the hofal is a passive. You were caused to shoot somebody. Someone made you shoot somebody else. So he caused someone to be shot. That's that active causation. That's huge, by the way, because let me give you an example. Let's say, and David prayed to the Lord, but it was hifil. He was caused to pray to the Lord. His circumstances caused him to pray to the Lord. Something made him do it. That's huge. That's a big difference. That causative action is huge. That's a hifil. The hofal is causative passive, meaning something caused. I wasn't caused to do something. I caused somebody else to do something. Passive action. So that passive action is huge. He was caused to be shot. So he caused someone to shoot. He was caused to be shot. Causative in the nature. Hifil, you're causing something to happen. Hofal, someone's causing you to make something happen. And then hithpael, the seventh and final form of the stem, is reflexive, and that's just you shot yourself. Very similar to the nifal, by the way. They're kind of interchangeable. But the nifal tends to emphasize more receiving it, where the hithpael is always reflexive. You're always doing it to yourself. So let me review. I'll give you the basis for this, and we'll start looking at some examples. The kal is you simply are doing an action. You, the subject of the sentence, are doing the action. You shot. The nifal, you're receiving the action. It's being done to you. You were shot. The pl, you intensively did the subject of the action of the verb. You were unloading a clip into something. Pu'al, you are intensively receiving the action. A clip was unloaded into you. The hifil, you caused someone else to shoot. You made someone else do the shooting. That's the hifil. Hofal, someone caused you to do the shooting. Someone caused you to take the shot. That's the hofal. Someone caused you to do it. Hithpael, you made yourself shoot. You made yourself do the shooting, or you made yourself shoot yourself. Take your pick. So you have these different active, passive categories. Doing it, being done to you, intensely doing it, intensely being done to you, causing someone else to do it, being caused to do it, doing it to yourself. Those are the 7 Hebrew stems, how the verb takes place. Now, that being said, examples. Let me give examples because examples help. Deuteronomy 6:4, right? Here you go. Shema Yisrael. You have this Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad, which is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. So there you have that Shema Yisrael. This, by the way, is the key statement of faith for every Jew. They read it every Sabbath. That's what they put in the boxes. They put on their hands and their foreheads, their phylacteries. That's what they put in their mezuzahs, their doorposts. This is the verse that's there. Hear, O Israel, Deuteronomy 6:4. The very first verb, the verb of the sentence, is this word Shema. Shema means to hear. Hear, O Israel. Okay? It happens to be an imperative, but that's a different subject. We won't go there yet. It is a command, but we're not to that point yet. But know that it's tense, or it's better said, it's stem. Tense is not the right better word. Stem is the better word to use there. Its stem is the kal, simple action. You, Israel, must hear. There it is. Hear, O Israel. Simple action. Put up your ears. Listen. The Lord your God is one Lord. So that's a simple action. That's your kal. So if you're doing the action of the verb, again, 80% of all Hebrew verbs are going to be the kal. They're just a simple action. The subject is doing the action. Israel, the subject of the sentence, you hear. They're doing the action. Let's go on into the nifal. Okay, the nifal, we'll pick out of the Genesis 6:6. The Lord was sorry. This is a heavy verse. The Lord was sorry he made heaven and earth. This word sorry is this word be-ye-ba-him. Be-ye-ba-him. Well, that's quite the word to pronounce. Let me tell you. Awesome word there. Don't worry about that. You can break it out later if you're curious. But needless to say, that word right there is a nifal, meaning it is passive. Interesting. So let me interpret this for you because I want you to see the power of this. You read this word, the Lord was sorry that he'd made man on the earth. It's a heavy statement in the beginning. God's like, kusubok na lang kay nahimo sa mga tao. Sorry that I made man. But notice this nafal. Something made God sorry. It wasn't his choice. He's not just doing it. Something made him that way. He's receiving this sorrow. What caused God to receive the sorrow? You'd have to back up to the previous verse. And you find out that every thought of man was continually evil all the time. So because of the great sinfulness of men, because of the great wickedness of men, the result was, the outcome of that was, it made God, this is heavy, it made God sorry. He's like, kasubot na lang kayo sa bagit sa mga tao, pasawagit sa ila. That's the thought there. That's that thought of Genesis 6:6. It's a heavy thought. But that's that nifal. It was receiving it. That's the nifal's receiving it. It's reflexive. It's coming back on the Lord. He's sorry that he did this. He's sorry that he made man because of the sin that he saw within them. That's the nifal. It's a passive action. Something's causing God to be that way. He's receiving that. Let's go on the PL. Whoa. I love the PL. Every time, I'll be honest with you, every time I find a PL in Hebrew, I stop. Because it means I got to look at it again because I know the English doesn't handle that. In this case, it's Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, which is honor your father and mother. Now, you read that in English, you read it just as give honor to your father and mother. Now, the key word here is this verb, kabed. Kabed is an imperative. Again, we don't need to get into that. It is a command. It's not where we are yet, but know that its stem is a PL. How would you say that? How would you interpret that best? You wouldn't go, honor your father and mother. No, that's not the PL. The PL is, honor your father and mother. That's the PL. Hopefully I didn't bust your speakers on that one. My monitor actually flashed on that. But get the idea. Hopefully that woke you up. It's not mild. It's not gentle. It's shouting it. That's the PL. Do you see the difference? Radical difference, by the way. Whole different sentence. When you read that in the Hebrew, you're shouting it. And that makes it mean something very different. That's why that PL is huge, huge difference. It is an intensive action. You must honor your father and mother. It's being shouted at you. Okay, PL. Okay, I get it. Back off. Too much. See the difference? PL is powerful because there's no way to handle it. I promise you, no one's ever read that verse to you that way before. No one's ever shouted to you Genesis 20:12. But they should have. That's the Hebrew. The Hebrew has that level of strength to it because it's got the PL. Same thing, pu'al. Okay? Pu'al, I love this. This is Exodus 12:39. This is speaking of when Pharaoh told the Hebrews to get out, leave. You need to leave. Driven out of Egypt. Okay? That driven gives you the idea that's accurate. They didn't, at this point, choose to leave. They were forced to leave. They weren't doing the leaving. They were made to depart. Because the whole 10th death angel plague thing, that was Pharaoh was done. Get out. So when it came time to leave, they didn't have to politely walk out. They were forced out. But not just gently. It's not just a nifal. It's a pu'al. It's not leave, get out. No, again, turn down your speakers if you need to. It's get out, leave now. That's the pu'al. You're shouting it. Again, it makes a huge difference. And there's no way to bring that into the English. You have to just know it in the Hebrew or you're going to miss it because grammar cannot catch it. We don't have a grammar to grasp that. So it's just lacking. And it's amazing because get to the idea. This is the Pharaoh who was going, nope, 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 9 different times. Nope, nope, nope. And God's just smiling, going, get ready. The Jews are even upset with Moses. You've made our lives harder. Now we're making bricks without straw. And, you came to bless us. You made it much more difficult. And God's going, don't worry, Moses. There's going to come a point. I'm building. There's a plan here. When the time comes, you'll leave. Oh, will you leave? Sure enough, when God finally pulled his final straw and he pulled out that death angel and the 10th and final plague, Pharaoh's like, he didn't say, please leave. It wasn't get out if you don't mind. Get out now. That's that driven out. Pual, intensively. You need to depart immediately. Intense. Love that. Again, you can't see that in the English. Strong. In the Hebrew, it's the pual. Intensively receiving an action. Okay? Move on to our hefil. Our hefil is our causative. Something's causing something to take place. We're causing something to take place. Genesis 22:3, Abraham rose early in the morning. Oh, this is rich. This is actually really, really rich. Okay? If that word arise, Abraham arose, because you have this, the verb is what opens it up, which, by the way, lot to this. You do have the vav that opens it up. That's your conjunction and. So it actually literally is and Abraham rose. That's the vav there. And that word rose is this word. It's got the yod. So it's yashkim. Yashkim. So it's va yashkim. And he rose. And he arose, if you want to put it that way. He rose early in the morning. It's Abraham. And then you have this bin. And there's your preposition, by the way. Bet. And then you have the word morning, which is bakar. Bakar. So Abraham babakar, early in the morning. But here's what I want you to know. It's a hefil. What does that mean? God has just got done telling Abraham, Abraham, take your son, your only son, which is a fascinating statement to begin with, because Abraham had two sons by that point. He had Ishmael and Isaac, but God did not recognize the work of the flesh. He did not recognize Ishmael, so it was his only son was Isaac. Only the son of the promise counted. Take your son, your only son, to a mountain that I will show you, to Mount Moriah, and there offer him as a sacrifice to me. Can you imagine? You've got your only son. Go kill him. Okay. That's rough. That's a hard word to receive. It's not something you want to hear from the Lord in the morning. Go kill your only son. So what did he do? He rose up early in the morning and departed from Mount Moriah. But it's not a kal, it's a hefil. What's the difference? If it had been a kal, it would have just meant Abraham got up. No big deal. I got up and I went to the mountain. The hefil, he had to make himself get up. He had to cause himself to arise. He did not want to. Who would? How could you? You're being asked to go sacrifice your son. That's got to be the worst day of Abraham's life. It's probably the hardest morning he ever faced. And the Hebrew grammar grasps that. It's there. You can't see it in the English. You don't see it. You just read that in English and go, okay, Abraham got up. Wow, must have been a hard day, huh? You can kind of assume it, but you don't see it. In the Hebrew, you see it. No, he had to force himself to get up. He had to cause himself, Phil, to get out of bed so that he could go and obey the Lord and bring Isaac to be sacrificed. Crazy, powerful passage. Again, that Phil, huge. You're causing yourself to do something. You're making yourself do something. So Phil. Hophah, someone's causing you to do something. Exodus 21:20. Right? So he who strikes a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. Interesting. So here you have the command regarding murder. This is one of the law of God. You're getting into the rules, regulations that God gave Moses there on Mount Sinai. And it's the regarding death penalty, the capital punishment. If you kill someone, you must be caused to die. It's causative. It's the hophal. You're not killing yourself. You're not going to kill yourself if you've murdered someone. No, you're going to be put to death because of what you've done. You're going to be caused to die. It's a causative, hophal. You're receiving that action. It's something that is a result or the consequences of your actions. It's causative. Because you murdered, you're going to be caused to be put to death. That's that hophal. It's that causative receiving of the action. And then the seventh and final one is the hitpael, something you do to yourself. This is interesting. Very, very famous verse. There's a whole lot to this, by the way. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite verses in the Old Testament. Exodus 14:13. They're there at the Red Sea. You've got mountains on the north, mountains on the south. Armies of Egypt are coming in from the west. Red Sea's to your east. It's huge, deep. an ocean to cross over, impossible to pass. You're stuck. People are terrified. They're getting scared. Why you brought us out here to die with none of graves in Egypt? Kind of typical statement. Moses says in verse 13, do not be afraid, stand still. Okay? Interesting. There's a whole lot to this. Just one verse is packed. First of all, that El, and then you have this Tereu. El Tereu is a jussive. We'll talk about jussives down the road, but jussives it's a command, but with the caveat of a choice. Do not let yourself be afraid, would be how you put it best in English. It carries that idea of it's something you need to do. Don't be afraid. But at the same time, I'm putting in there, I know that you are afraid, and I'm giving you that choice. Don't let yourself be afraid. Okay, how do I not be afraid? That's the overall justice. That's the statement. How do you not be afraid? By standing still. That word stand still is a hitpael. You need to choose for yourself. It's reflexive. Choose for yourself to stop looking at Pharaoh and instead look to the salvation of the Lord, which, by the way, in that verse 13, the word salvation is the word Yeshua. Look to Jesus. It's the very same word for Jesus. Awesome that it's there. It's a cool little nugget. It's phenomenal. So don't let yourself be afraid. How? By choosing, Hithpael, it's reflexive, choosing to stand still and look to your salvation. Look to Jesus. That removes fear. Look to Pharaoh, you fear. Look to Jesus, no fear. And there's that Hithpael reflexive. That's your choice. Choose to yourself not to look to the wrong thing. Look to the right one. Hithpael, reflexive action. So these are your stems. They're amazing. 7 of them. 7 in all. You're dealing with Kal, simple action, you're doing it. Nifal, simple action, you receive it. Piel, intensive action, you're doing it. Pual, intensive action, you're receiving it. Hifil, you're causing someone to do something. Hofal, someone's causing you to do something. Hithpael, you're doing it to yourself. So these are your Hebrew stems. Now, mind you, go back. They're often how you interpret by these stems what meaning a particular word has. Look at our example here of the word bara. We looked at earlier. There's bara. Notice they're broken down by your stems. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different possible clusters of interpretation, and they're defined by stems. Under the kal, which is a simple active, it's to shape, fashion, or create. The nifal, passive, is to be created. We're receiving that creation. PL, that's when it changes its meaning intensively, to cut down or to chop down. Hifil, is that causative, is to be made fat. So depending upon your stem, that is often where you get the various meanings and interpretations that come from a single Hebrew word based upon the stem itself. So the stems are huge, both for how the verb is being done, as well as how to know which interpretation of the verb is correct. Let me repeat that. That's why stems are huge. They're a major, major, major grammatical notation within Hebrew. There's others we're going to get into, not today, it's too much. But there's others that we'll get into. But the stems are really one of your key fundamental grammatic notations within Hebrew. Huge for 2 reasons. 1, it tells you how the verb is happening. Is it a simple action? Are we receiving the action? Is it an intensive action? Are we intensely receiving it? Are we causing it to happen? Are we having it caused to be happen to us? Are we doing it to ourselves? How the verb takes place. Kal, nifal, piel, pual, hifil, hofal, hithpael. Also, how is it to be interpreted? For the actual word's interpretation is almost always tied into those stems, those 7 stems. Questions? Just threw a lot at you, so let me know if you got a question. I'm sure you have many if you're still alive. thumbs up, or have I lost all of you? Just always a possibility at this point. How we doing? Good? Does it make sense?
Are you still here?
Still alive?
No splitty.
No splitty.
Yes. Still here.
Still alive, making sense, but can't absorb everything.
Repetition is going to be the key.
Yes.
When you get into it, anytime you have a verb, now mind, let me show you how this looks, because sometimes seeing it is what's really going to help you. Stems only come into play, you're only going to find them in verbs. You don't find stems in nouns or in adjectives or in adverbs. It's only going to be in your verbs. So as you're going down here, you can see this. In the beginning, God created. Notice we have the verb, the dark green. So long as you have a verb, notice what comes right underneath your verb. The very next thing you find, verb, and then stem. Okay, don't worry about type, person, gender, number. We'll get into those eventually. Right now, I just want you to see that when you have a verb, it will always be followed by a stem. Those stems are going to follow primarily, there are some exceptions to the rules, but I'm not going to give you those two now, but primarily going to follow those 7. Kal, nifal, pl, pu'al, hifil, hofal, hithpael. They're going to follow those categories. They break down into 3 essential groupings. It's the active, passive, and causative. You know, there's active is going to be your kal, your pl, and your hifil. Those are active. You're actively doing it. You're intensively doing it. You're causing it to happen. Your passive categories are going to be your nifel, you're receiving it, pu'al, intensive receiving it, hofal, causing it to be received. And then your hithpael is your one where you're doing it to yourself. So it's breaking down how they're happening. Those 7 stems are going to be part of every single verb. Doesn't make a difference. Go to any sentence you want to. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Move on. Verb. And God said, there we go. Said is a verb. Go down here, and you've got God said. The verb said, which is the word amer, or you have yamir. Yamer is going to be a call. The stem is going to be call. So again, it's a simple action. He's just saying it, nothing complicated, straightforward. He's doing the action. But anytime you got a verb, you're going to find that. And there was light. That word was, okay, is this word haya? Haya is a call. Again, just a simple. Again, 80% of your verbs are going to be this call. They're the most common form, common stem that you're going to find. It's just a simple action. There was light. Anytime you see a verb, you're going to find this. Go on down. And God called, let's go back down to this one, okay? Called again. That word called, again, is going to be, it's the word qara. Qara is going to be a call. It's just a simple, again, stem, active verb. And God called the day darkness, and he called the night evening, and the morning were, again, this word were, haya, call, the first day. So everything right now is all calls. Every stem so far we've seen right now is a call. And God said, let the firmament, let's see if we can find one's amount of call. Maybe here. Yes, I thought maybe. I guess that was probably the case for the context. Okay. And then God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the sea and let the birds multiply upon the earth. Now watch this word blessed. The word blessed is a great word. It's the word barak. So this word barak is what? What's the stem on it? It's not a call anymore. Can you see what stem it is? It's a PL. Woo! So stop for a moment. Again, every single verb is going to have a stem. They all do. That's how Hebrew grammar works. All verbs have stems. You're going through, most of them are going to be kal. Kal is just a simple action. The subject's doing the action of the sentence. When you get to a PL, stop. Stop, because that means that that's something that English can't handle. What's the PL? In this case, it's intensive. Something intensively is happening. What's intensively happening? God's blessing. It's not a little bit of blessing. It's
Intensive.
not. Exactly. Intensely. He's like, you are blessed. Oh my goodness, the blessings are incredible. How did he bless them? Saying, be fruitful, multiply, fill the waters and the sea. By the way, if you go down here and say, okay, be fruitful, that word fruitful is also a verb. That's just a call, but it's an imperative. Multiply, also a verb. That's a call. Fill, also a verb. That's a call. Okay? Let, that's a jussive. That's a fun one. Multiply, call. Those are both jussives. Those are fun. We'll get to jussives later on. Needless to say, it's a statement of intensely he blessed them. How did he intensely bless them? Go, multiply, fill all the oceans, all the earth with your offspring. Blessed them intensely. Not a little bit, intensely bless them. That's the PL. Are you seeing where that comes? So every verb has it. You get to look up and find out what's the stem. When you're going through your grammar, you're going through your sentences in Hebrew, your stems matter. Is it active, passive, or reflexive? Are we doing the action? Is it being done to us? Are we doing it to ourselves? And then as we're doing it, are we doing it regular, intensely, PL pual, or is it being done causative, hifil hofal? This is your Hebrew stems. They're huge, both in understanding how the verb is taking place, as well as go back to that word blessed. Really, that word blessed, barak, notice, again, and this is with every single Hebrew word, every verb in Hebrew is going to be broken down by their stems. So under the kal, the word bless means to kneel or bless, which is funny, by the way. To kneel and bless is the same word. Again, Hebrew is interesting. How would you know which one is which? Context. Nifal, to be blessed, or to bless oneself if it's reflexive. PL means to bless, so no different. For sure it means blessing, but it carries the idea of intensely blessing. Pual, to be intensely blessed. Hifil, to cause someone to kneel. So you don't cause someone to be blessed, but you cause them to kneel. It's hifel, but the hifbayal is to bless yourself. So very interesting. Again, these stems are powerful because number one, they tell us how the verb takes place. Number two, they're going to help us with the correct interpretation, the meaning of the verb, because the meanings are broken down by these stems. Following? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, pass.
All right. I'm excited. Here's what I want you to do. Homework.
Yes.
Homework for next week. I want you to follow the same principle, because this repetition of doing your letters, vowels, and working through taking the words and bringing them into English, just so you can help with the practice of your transliteration, making the Hebrew letters into English letters so that you can read them. Don't worry about the meaning of them. We're not worried about meaning, just being able to comfortably or somewhat comfortably take Hebrew words and put them into an English pronunciation. We want to do that again. So we'll have you write your Hebrew consonants 5 times, your Hebrew vowels 5 times, same thing. Take the next 10 words and our handout, which is going to be numbers 21 to 30, and try to bring those into English the best you can, just for practice. But here's the key addition. I want you to take a sentence. You pick the sentence. Doesn't make a difference what sentence you want. But in that sentence, I want you to find the verb. If there's more than one verb, you can pick your verb in that sentence. But I want you to find the verb, and I want you to tell me what the stem of it is. So is it a kal, nifal, pual, pl, whatever the stem might be? I want you to find the stem. Blue Letter Bible will do this for you. So not that hard. So let's say you're going, I want Exodus 14:13. That's what you want to go to. That's my verse. Okay, no problem. So you can go to your Blue Letter Bible. Type in Exodus 14:13. When you get to verse 13, you're going to open up your tools, pops up your interlinear. I want you to find the verb. Now, there's more than one verb here. There's a verb said. There's a verb fear. There's a verb stand still. There's a verb see. So take your pick, whichever verb you want. You don't have to necessarily pick up a specific verb. Take your own verse. You don't have to use this verse either, but pick a verse. Find at least one verb in that sentence. When you find that verb, I want you to go ahead then and find what the stem is. So in this particular case, I think they're all... Oh, here's one. The stand still is a fun one because it's not the qual. The stand still here is a hithpael. I want you to tell me, one, what does hithpael mean? So, or whatever the particular stem you pick. If you pick kal, if you pick nifal, pual, whatever stem you pick, whatever verb you pick, give me the stem. Tell me what that stem means in the context of that sentence. Meaning, how does that stem change your understanding of that particular verb in that particular verse? And then two, I want you to go in and tell me what the meaning of that verb is based upon the stem. Meaning you're going to come in here and you go, okay, based upon that particular stem, here's the interpretation that I'm going to get. Because mind you, interpretation on your Strong's numbers is based upon your stems. So give me the interpretation. So, review. Give me your 5 consonants, 5 vowels written down, and do your next 10 letters in your handout sheet, then 10 words in your handout sheet to bring them into the English pronunciation. But here's your new thing that's key. Pick a verse, any verse in the Old Testament. In that verse, find a verb, any verb you want in that verse. Tell me the stem, whatever it might be, and then tell me how that stem helps you understand the interpretation of that word. It's a kal. Kal is a simple action. This is what it means. It's an ifal. It's a receiving. It's a passive action. This is what it means. So give me that breakdown, whatever the verb you choose is, and then go into your Strongs and tell me what the meaning of that word is based upon its stem. I'll write all this down, but that's your work for next week, so you can begin to practice working with these stems. Good?
Oh, good. Thank you.
Pass.
All right. Excited for you guys. Trust me when I tell you this is where Hebrew starts to get really, really, really exciting. You start to break into and get into these stems, these verbs. Keep in mind some of the training that you've had with, and if you see this, it's good to remind yourself your prepositions, your articles, your conjunctions. Just remind yourself, those are all very interpretive. We'll review this again. But your homework is based upon the stems. I want you to start to work on those. All right, that being said, let's pray you out. We're out of time. Lord, we thank you for this morning. We thank you for the opportunity, Lord, to get into the Hebrew, to get into your word. And Lord, we're excited to see, Lord, I'm excited to see, Father, how this is going to transform these students' understanding of how not just the Old Testament and the Hebrew works, but even practicing and really using discernment as far as interpreting your word. Going in and seeing how something is put in, yes, using all the tools that are in front of them, but then also looking at the context and making hopefully spiritual conclusions as far as to the meaning of a particular passage. And so, Father, I pray you be with them in their Bible study time, speak to their hearts, strengthen them, we pray and ask. In Jesus' name we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.